Joining us in studio this morning is Silas Earle, candidate for Franklin County Commission District 6, Seat A. We're going to spend some time this morning getting to know him and why he decided to run, and also what he's hearing from voters and what kind of voice he hopes to be on a county commission if elected. Silas, we appreciate you being here this morning with us. And I guess to start with, right off the top, folks may not know you yet, so tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a lifetime resident of the Alto community, which for those of you who don't know, District 6 covers Alto, Oak Grove, Capitol Hill, and UTSI. I was raised out there and intend to spend my entire life out there. I've spent the last 8 years of my life in construction. I'm the chief operator at Johnson Crane, and I'm on year 6 on intense floor pressure washing as well. And I decided I wanted to get my foot in the local politics, and now here we are. And so yeah, there's a vacancy in the district that I'm in.
Right.
So decided to be a good time to do it.
What made you decide to run for county commission? Again, District 6, Seat A, for folks who are wondering. What made you decide?
Well, I've had 2 family members on it in the past, and I enjoyed watching them growing up, enjoying watching them work on the county commission. And it's been kind of in my mind for a few years. And then when the vacancy arose, I was like, I guess it's time to do it. And I look around, a lot of people want to see younger people get involved. And I look around the room and nobody really wants to do it, which I understand because it is kind of an uncomfortable situation to put yourself in. And I decided, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I got to say, it's the last 6 months been very challenging, but very rewarding as well.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to be here.
To that point, regardless of which way people vote and people getting involved and stuff like that in the whole process, I commend you for that.
I appreciate that.
There are not a lot of people that are willing to take on, it is a tough position to kind of put yourself in. That being said, how old actually are you? Because you're a pretty young fella.
I'm 23.
23 years old.
When the first meeting rolls around, if I win, I'll be 24.
As far as the district is concerned specifically, what are some of the things that you think make District 6 maybe unique, that part of the county unique?
We are very big in agriculture. I would say that we are probably the biggest agriculture district in the county, and I want to work hard to protect agriculture because it's a big part of our infrastructure. And I want to help farmers by maintaining lower property taxes and things like that, and keeping things like solar farms and data centers all out of here, because that would really take a toll on people in my district. So that's kind of what I feel strongly about in my community.
Again, Silas Earle, a Republican nominee for Franklin County Commission, District 6, Seat A. And when people ask you, why you're running, what would your short answer be?
My short answer is that this county has blessed me in more ways than I can count. So I really want to just get involved and help people out myself. So that's really the short answer of it.
The county commission is one of those, it's not always a race that people know the most about. How would you explain what a county commissioner actually does?
Well, you vote a lot. You vote primarily on the budget, and you oversee things like road. You work with the school board. And if you go to the commission meetings now, they're pretty, you go in and
they move pretty quick.
They move pretty quick, which is something that I kind of want to see us get more in depth. And if I get there, I want to see us get a little bit more in depth with how the meetings are run. Because when you go in, you have pretty short explanations of everything, and when you leave, it's, oh man, I really don't know what's going on. So I kind of want to see us change that, but we'll see.
Yeah,
when I get there.
And what it's been explained to me that the commissioners get these packets beforehand, and they get the information beforehand, and part of the process is going through and reading what the things that they're voting on is about. But to your point, there is not necessarily a ton of discussion these days on certain matters. So I think that that's an interesting way of looking at it. Now, what have you heard most often from voters while you've been out and talking to people, again, within your district and stuff? What are you hearing? What kind of feedback are you hearing?
In regards to what?
Just in general, like, is there anything specifically that people would be looking for from you as a county commissioner?
A lot of people, everybody I talk to, it's all they want to talk about is property taxes.
Really?
They just want to keep them as low, and ours are fairly low.
Hmm.
Our right now is 1.99, I believe,
Yeah.
and the surrounding counties, I believe, are the third lowest. Lincoln is the lowest, but their population is a little bit lower, and that's really the biggest concern I've got. And a lot of people are really opposed to these data centers.
Yeah.
I've seen those, and I understand that they use a lot of water. Our infrastructure is not really built to handle it, so I certainly understand where they're coming from with that as well.
So, when you look at Franklin County as a whole,
Mhm.
what would you say that you feel like Franklin County is doing well right now?
We've not seen our our property taxes increased, I believe, since 23, I believe, which, yes, it's 23, I believe. It was 1.89, I believe it's 1.99. And we don't have a wheel tax. We're blessed in that regard. Our sales tax is relatively low, so we're doing good in that regard as well.
Do you feel like there's something that stands out to you as far as where local government, where county government could improve just right off the bat? Is there something that comes to mind?
I think an emphasis on transparency with the public. Again, I feel like when you go into commission meetings, a lot of people don't get involved or don't go because they just simply don't know what's going on. And something I would like to see, as simple as this, the commissioners' packs are actually accessible to anyone. You can go to the mayor's office and ask for one, and they will send it to you. So my thing, why not just put a QR code by the door, scan it, everybody goes in, they know exactly what they're voting on, instead of just having one or two sentences describing what's going on in the meeting.
Interesting. Yeah. As far as transparency and communication go, I mean, do you feel like, and you're here, we're having this conversation today, but do you feel like as a whole, that might be one of the challenges facing both voters and residents of Franklin County as a whole is communication?
I feel like when you ask, everyone's more than willing to help you.
Right.
But I feel like we need to relay the information a little bit better. I feel like it's something we could do better at to the public. But again, when you ask, people are more than willing to communicate with you.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're a little shy on communication in some ways.
Yeah. It does seem like people get the feeling that there are things happening behind closed doors or being hidden from them because it's not openly put out there and disseminated. But to your point, I haven't experienced that. Anytime I've asked a question, I've gotten a direct answer, a straight answer, and people are willing to share that information. It's just having a strategy to disseminate it on a regular basis. Okay, so what kind of a commissioner would you want people to see you as? Are you more of a listener? Are you like a problem solver, a budget watchdog, a voice for growth, or something else? What exactly would you say kind of defines you?
I would say I'm a listener, but I would also say I'm a voice for growth. I'm big. Again, my entire background is construction. I'm big on industry. You go to our neighboring county and they have all kinds of industry. You got food, you got Little Leaf lettuce, you got DOT foods, you got everything up there. And I really want to see our industrial park grow to bring in jobs for people who grew up here as well as for all those who are moving here. So that's kind of what my platform is, industrial development.
Well, one of the challenges that seems to be facing the county as of right now is, and we've talked about it often on the station, the decline in enrollment in Franklin County schools. And so finding some jobs that would target young families would seem to counter that.
No, I agree.
Is there a conversation that kind of stands out that you maybe have had with a voter to this point? That's stuck with you throughout your campaign to this point?
Not in particular. No, I would say not. I really can't think of one or another. But you touched on the enrollment issue. I do want to come back to that. That's something that I think nobody really particularly has an answer for. And that's something I love listening to this conversation. Like, it's something that I think we're all on the same page. We got to work really hard to get enrollment back up. But again, I don't have an answer for that. But I don't think a lot of people do. That is an issue that we really need to work on, is getting enrollment back up.
Yeah, I do think that it's worth having a sit down, having a special called meeting, some sort of a round table, some sort of, something like that, and throwing some ideas out there because to your point, there's a lot of data. There's a lot of people who recognize the problem. There's a lot of conversations that have been had about the problem, but coming up with solutions in that regard is definitely, that's the challenge right now.
Right. It is. I would say it's probably one of the biggest challenges facing Franklin County right now is declining enrollment.
Well, and to your point about the budget as well, the school board and the school district's budget is the largest piece of the budget.
Yeah, it's over half of it. Yes.
Yeah. Now, in terms of working in construction and some of the other things with the crane company and the power washing, you're an entrepreneur, aren't you?
I would say I am. In the words of my dad, I have no idle time.
Yeah, I get that. I feel that in my soul.
I work 7 days a week for probably 8 or 9 months out of the year.
Yeah,
and I love it. I'm very fortunate to live in this county. I've had 2 great careers, and I actually became a taxpayer at 13. My first job was at Woody's Bicycles in Swanee.
Wow.
And then growing up, I always had a little bit of a passion for agriculture and construction. Then I started working at Woodall Farms, worked there 2 years, learned a lot at Woodall Grain, loved working there. And then I started there at the same time as Johnson Crane. And then here we are all these years later. I'm still working at Johnson Crane, and then became kind of the right-hand man at 10-sport pressure washing.
So you kind of have some unique infrastructure insight then, I would say, working in and around it. Do you see any challenges there right now with the type of growth that Franklin County has had?
I think we need to kind of find what direction we want to move in. Do we want to be an industrial town, or do we want to be a tourist town? Like which one? I don't know if we should try to split it right down the middle, but I don't know. I think it's a conversation we need to have. Is what really direction do we want to move in?
Right. Okay. Well, again, we are joined by Silas Earle here on ESPN Radio Winchester. Again, Silas is a candidate for Franklin County Commission, District 6, Seat A. We covered his background a little bit, and when we come back, we'll dive deeper into some of the issues facing Franklin County. We'll be back on the other side. Again, this is ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT Winchester. Back here on WCDT, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069. We got Silas Earle in studio with us this morning. He is a candidate for Franklin County Commission, District 6, Seat A. And so we talked a little bit about why you're running, Silas, and a little bit about your background as well. Let's talk a little bit about the county budget. Now, when we look at the county and its budget, what are some of the top priorities that you feel like are most important to commissioners when they're deciding where taxpayer money should go?
A problem that I see arising, it's not an issue yet, but it will be in the not so far future, is with the population increasing, we need to have a serious discussion, I feel like, about having our own garbage incinerator, because we are sending out our garbage right now, paying other counties to take ours, when if we make the initial investment to have our own, we could be taking other counties could be paying us to take theirs. I feel like that's a conversation we should have at some point.
So you mentioned growth in Franklin County, and the county is growing, and with growth, obviously comes certainly opportunities, but there is that level of pressure that then arises. It falls on things like infrastructure and just even in the way of life around Franklin County. How does a county commissioner manage, responsible growth without the county losing its identity?
Well, we're blessed to have this many people coming here. I mean, can you really blame them? We live in a great place, but that's kind of one of those things that's kind of hard to walk the line on, because you don't want to lose all your farmland. You don't want to lose any of that, but also you don't want to deter people from coming here either.
Right.
So it's one of those things, kind of a hard issue to find a middle ground on. And it's another one that people get pretty passionate about.
Yeah, it seems like it comes up every election cycle. How do we manage our growth without losing our identity? Now, that being said, what is your view on both like balancing economic development while protecting the rural character of the county? Because I know that the farmland and stuff is very important to you, as you mentioned earlier in the interview. But there is a balance there. I guess the question is, how do you really manage it for the county? Is there insight that you take from the voters? Is it something that you're just concerned about representing your district? How do you take all those things into account?
It gets like my priority will be my constituents, but I am aware that I'll be a county commissioner, not just a District 6 commissioner. So it's the thing about, we don't have the real estate for maintaining everything, like the growth, the industry, the agriculture, like all that. Something we'll have to give at some point. And the thing is in order for say a piece of farmland to get developed in my district, somebody has to sell it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And
you can't once they sell it, you can't expect somebody to tell another person what they can and can't do with their land.
Exactly. That's something I'm very passionate about. Is I'm not for the government telling you what you can and can't do with your property. Is the thing. Like, so if I say two people come to me but to buy a piece of property, one offers me 100,000, one offers me $1 million, but the one who offers me 100,000 says I'm going to leave it your eye candy. The one who offers me $1 million, I'm going to develop it. Well, it's going to be their property. It's not my choice.
Right.
That'd be like me selling you a car and then me getting mad if you turn it into an Uber.
Right.
But yeah, so it's one of those things where we kind of got to find a middle ground on it.
Infrastructure is another issue that seems to pop up consistently. Roads, utilities, especially here in Winchester, we had a lot of road work done lately, public safety in schools. And what type of infrastructure do you think deserves the most attention right now from what you're seeing around the county?
64 between the roundabout and Huntland. But yes, we do have some roads that do need some work. I got an Alto, there are some that are pretty rough. And I believe in my district there are only 4 or 5 fire hydrants in the Oak Grove community, which is that's something else we need to get some attention to. But there's work to be done for sure. And again, when you have this influx of people, we got to have infrastructure that matches that. That's kind of how I feel about it. But yeah, and I've heard that that's in the works between 64 between the roundabout and Huntland.
Well, when it comes to taxes and spending, do you have kind of a general philosophy?
I'm more of a conservative when it comes to fiscal responsibility. I am more of a conservative guy. I'm not one to just let's go shotgun money out at every issue. And but if something needs attention, we need to give it attention. Like roads, and if you have a roof leaking on a school, we need to get it fixed.
Right. So before it costs more money.
Right. I'm not one to just shotgun out money at things that we might need. We need to put money in things that we have to have now. Is kind of how I feel.
You talked a little bit about transparency, and obviously we just talked a little bit about spending. Is there any areas that come to mind where you think that we could be a little bit more efficient in our spending?
Not to my knowledge. I have not seen.
Might be something you got to dive into a little bit more.
Something I dive into a little bit deeper.
Yeah. As far as the communication, we touched on this a little bit. Between the county commission and the school system, and then you got the city governments and the community, smaller communities and things like that around town. So as far as communication, we've got the county commission, obviously, the school board, you've got the city governments, you've got the public just in general. And you mentioned this earlier, being able to communicate to folks when they're coming into or participating in the commission meetings and things like that, how important you believe communication is to the community, but how important is communication between departments and between the systems across the county? I
think it is very important because say Decker wants to annex a part of District 6, the commissioners need to know about that. I mean, so communication between departments is good, which not that that's happening, but in the event that it does, I feel like the commissioner needs to know about it. But yeah, communication is key in these things. And again, we have a really good county commission now. Again, all of them have been more than every question I've had. They've all answered it for me willingly. They've been great. They've been great to me since I've decided to run. And I feel like communication right now is pretty good. It's just we got to relay the information to the public a little bit better. It's kind of how I feel.
Right. So if elected, a question that I have for you is, what would your process be like? How would you decide whether or not you're going to support a proposal and when to vote no on something?
Read the material and listen to the voters. That would be my two biggest things. I want to read it as many times as it takes to understand it, and then I encourage people to reach out to me with their opinions on said proposal, and then that'll be my insight.
Let me ask you this to wrap up this segment. Do you think that Franklin County's biggest challenge right now is it growth, money, planning, or communication?
I would say growth would be just having a plan for the growth is probably, I would say, is the biggest concern. Yes.
Okay. Again, We are joined this morning by Silas Earle here in studio, candidate for County Commission, District 6, Seat A. We're going to take a quick break and be back on the other side. This is ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT Winchester. Back here in studio, Joe Abraham, joined by Silas Earle, a candidate for Franklin County Commission, District 6, Seat A. And we appreciate you coming in this morning and taking some time with us to talk to voters here in and around the county. One of the things that comes to mind as we go through this process, especially in a small town, is that District 6 voters, for example, are not all going to agree on every issue.
Correct.
How do you plan to represent people who may not have even voted for you?
Well, you got to represent the people who vote for you and don't vote for you.
Yeah.
I'm fully aware. The population in the 2020 census, it was 6,600. So I'm assuming it's a little bit higher than that now. And not everybody's going to agree with how I vote, and that's all right. But I'll try to represent them the best I can, and the best that I do. If I have a 50-50 split on an issue, I'll try to vote for how I feel is right.
Yeah,
that's what my intentions would be.
Well, and you mentioned, both reading the materials that go along with a vote and then listening to voters. So, what does accessibility look like to you? Should people expect, to be able to make phone calls and send texts and get public updates, whether it be from you or social media or town hall communication, things like that, or just accessibility to you in the process?
I'm very easy to access. Again, my number, if most of the commissioners' numbers are on the county's website. So I'll answer any phone call. I'll answer any message on Facebook. And if you see a link belt crane driving down the road, odds are it's me. So you try to flag me down. But accessibility with me is not an issue. No.
How would you go about approaching a disagreement on a subject? Like, if you get a vote at times, you may have different commissioners who are voting different ways and discussions. You mentioned wanting to have a little bit more discussion. That can raise tension. And I guess my question is, what kind of temperament do you feel like you have?
I'm pretty laid back. I'm not one. I'm not going to get up there and just try to make a name for myself as soon as I get. I'm not going to be like that. But I'm pretty laid back. If there's tension and discussion, just let's talk it out and see. Let's try to reach a compromise on whatever the issue may be.
You feel like there are any specific projects or concerns that come to mind in District 6 that you want to make sure stay on your radar?
My biggest thing is keeping solar farms out of there. They destroy our farmland and provide no jobs once they're there. So that's my number one priority. Which there is a resolution passed by that, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. That is something that's been taken care of here recently.
So what does success look like, do you think, in your first year of office, should voters choose you?
I want to, if I win and then decide, hey, I want to hang it up or I don't win again, I just want to leave knowing that I left it better than I found it. Just know that I feel like I provided some good insight to the rest of the commissioners, the mayor, everybody who's there. And just feel like I've done a good job representing my people while I was there. It's what success would look like to me.
Do you feel like that you're someone who, speaks up more often, or do you think that you're more someone who would work behind the scenes? Which kind of personality do you think that you have? I
feel like at first I would probably be behind the scenes. Once I get comfortable with it, I feel like I would be more upfront. But it's a learning process. So in the beginning, I would probably be more laid back. And again, as young as I am, I know that the people, I'm not gonna go in there guns blazing because nobody will listen to me if I do that.
Right.
but yeah, at first I will probably be more a little bit behind the scenes guy, I would say.
So we're coming up on the end here. What is one thing about you that voters may not know, but maybe they should?
A lot of people know me personally will tell you that my best quality is how dedicated I am to what I do. Again, when I worked at Woodall's, dedicated there. I have a passion for the cranes. I really enjoy pressure washing, and this is. Again, this local politics, I wanted to try something new, and it's a little bit uncomfortable territory right now, but I'm really eager to learn it and really excited to learn it. So I'm really interested in seeing where this takes me. So I guess go back to the whole, I guess you could say I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah. If somebody is undecided, what would you say to earn their vote?
I would say that when I get there, I want to be a commissioner for, again, people who voted for me and didn't vote for me. I will be someone who listens. I'll be transparent to you, and you call me, I will answer. You give me your insight. I will tell you my opinion, and I look forward to hearing from all the voters that vote for me as well as don't vote for me. So I want to represent my district well.
In the meantime, prior to Election Day, how can voters learn more about you or maybe get in touch with you?
They, again, message me on Facebook. I'm fairly active on Facebook since this election started. I will be at every meet and greet. So again, we're in the home stretch. We're right over a month away. So there's a lot more events coming up that everyone that I can attend, I plan on attending. Again, it's kind of hard with work schedule these days.
Yeah.
But again, I'm pretty easy to find, especially in the home stretch of this thing. I think July 11th, there is a event at the Franklin Farmers Pavilion, which I would encourage everyone to go to. I believe all countywide candidates, commission candidates from every district will be there, at least to my knowledge. Again, July 11th, the Franklin Farmers Pavilion will be one that you can come find me at. And I haven't heard of many more, but I'm sure there's more along the way.
Yeah. They're popping up all over the place.
Yeah, they are.
All right. So, final word. What is your message to folks of District 6?
My message will be that I'm a young candidate. I'm fresh. I'm new. And I'm eager to learn this job. I'm willing to learn this job. I have a long way to come. I'm fully aware. But I want to do it. And I look forward to being on the Franklin County Commission. We're blessed to live in the community that we do. And again, I've been blessed by more ways than I can count by this county. And I'm just grateful to be here and grateful to have the opportunity to hopefully represent you on the Franklin County Commission.
Silas, we appreciate you coming in this morning. We appreciate you getting involved in the process.
Mm-hmm.
I think that folks can learn a lot
Yeah.
from you jumping in with both feet on this thing, regardless of whether they vote for you or not.
Mm-hmm.
You got the right mindset and giving voters a chance to hear from you directly this morning. Again, Silas Earle, candidate for Franklin County Commission, District 6, Seat A. Election Day is August 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And so we encourage everyone to learn about the candidates before you make your voice heard. Again, Silas, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it.
This has been the ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.